Glad to be here again with David Collum, the CEO of Pocket Testament League, which has given out millions and millions of Gospels of John around the world in different languages and different forms the booklet takes, and have witnessed the impact of it. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about while we're studying the book of Acts is household conversions. Cornelius is well known, but you have some fascinating stories about people whose conversion almost automatically generates a household conversion, it seems.
Thanks for asking that question. We do. And one of the amazing things is, this happens around the world, but let me just take China, for example, and take a person, Ting, who we've met, and he will talk about coming to faith. And the first thing he will do, and I've heard this story over and over and over again, so Ting's an example. The first thing he'll do is go home and talk to his wife and his children and lead them to faith. And the way he'll say it, Ting says it and other people say it, and I led them to faith, as if, okay, like check, that's done. And then I led my mother and my father, but pray for my father-in-law. He still is resisting, and so would you pray for him? I was like, we'll pray for him right now. But what is remarkable is, the attitude is, I have just received the most amazing gift. I've just received eternal life. I've just had the sovereign God of the universe come and live in my heart, and I'm going to share this with my family. And they do. It's quite the familial culture. And it strikes me as I've traveled around the US and around North America and met hundreds and thousands of members of the Pocket Testament League, people who do this. Their hearts break. I mean, they'll share great, exciting stories with me. I'm sharing some of those stories with you. But then they'll say, would you pray for my son or my daughter or my niece or my nephew, because they don't know the Lord yet. And just to give you an example of what I'm talking about is, one time I was having a meeting with about 10 members of the league. I was brand new to the Pocket Testament League, maybe a couple months in position. And one of the staff members leaned over and said, before we were going to have the meeting, we were doing a virtual meeting, kind of a Skype meeting across the country with 10 different people. They leaned over and said, by the way, the people you're about to interview have presented the gospel over 60,000 times.
With a little
presentation said, could I give you this Gospel of John? However, everybody has their own little way of doing it. I tend to say, this book's changed my life. I just want to encourage you to read it.
That's 6,000 a person on average.
Yeah. So I immediately start doing the math in my head. I said, I don't think I'm up to 6,000. I'm not sure I'm up to 1,000. It was pretty humbling. And yet, here are these almost super evangelists in my mind, and their hearts break for their families. And so my prayer for them is that, and I told them that, I said, I know it's hard. I have family members who don't know the Lord. And so I said, but you, as you share the gospel, are handing it to someone's son, and you're handing it to someone's daughter and someone's niece and someone's nephew. You're sharing it to family members. And so often our families don't want to talk to us about this. But we need to remember that the people that we're handing these gospels to are someone's family member. And I can remember there was a time when I was pretty discouraged about my personal situation, and I was pastoring a small church, and it was just a season when we were having quite a few baptisms. And so we were getting ready to kind of going through the ceremony with a 16-year-old who was about to be baptized. And a 70-plus-year-old walked by who had been baptized about 3 weeks earlier, Lloyd. And Lloyd stopped and looked at this young man, and he said, Alex, are you getting baptized today? And Alex said, I am, sir. He said, that's great. It's going to be the best day in your life because it was the best day in mine. And then he just left. And my wife reminds me of that. Don't give up. 70 years old.
Yeah.
That month we baptized a 70-year-old, a 60-something, and a 50-something-year-old. And so the Lord's timing is the Lord's timing. And we have to be out and be about his business, sharing his word and inviting people and being a part of that puzzle. That's the human heart so often.
And a part of the human extended family. That might mean that sometimes you serve someone else's son while they serve your daughter, and that's God's work.
So households and Cornelius still happening.